Hey y'all, I'm here from SkyrimScripting.com to show you how you can use the Custom Console Commands mod to add custom console commands to your mod. So let's get started. I'm going to be using Mod Organizer 2 for this. Here I am on the files for the mod. I'll grab the latest one. It requires Papyrus util, so let's grab that. And XKSE, which I've already set up. Cool, that's going to kick off a download, and now let's get the main mod. Now all of this will work with Vortex. I love Vortex. I love both. And I'm going to turn these all on. Now if we run this now just with SKSE, nothing's necessarily going to happen because the mod in and of itself doesn't do anything. It's a utility mod. Now I will point out one thing, which is this console right here, there, in the, let's make me small. I'm too big, let us be small. You can't add custom commands to this menu on the main menu. So this, can't customize this. But once you go in game, then you can customize any of those commands there. So we'll head into game. And once we're in game, I'm just going to quit out, and all we can really do now is to look at our Papyrus logs or something to see if something got written. So if I head on over to my documents, my games, Skyrim Special Edition, if in my Skyrim INI I have the Papyrus logs enabled, Papyrus logging and trace, which will be very useful for working with this mod because it'll tell you every time it kicks off a new console command event. Here's our Papyrus logs, and we can just search for like console. We can spell it correctly. And then I guess there's only one instance of something, and it's just Custom Console Commands is now listening for console commands. So let's give it a command to start listening to. So let's make a mod. What would you like to make? I'm going to say that we're going to make a console command called dance, and it will make whoever is selected via the console dance. Otherwise, it'll just make the player dance. So I'm going to make a new empty mod. Again, we're using Mod Organizer 2 for this. Use whatever authoring workflow you're used to using. So I'm going to call this dance mod or something. Dance mod, or console dance. How about that? Console dance. I'm going to turn it on, and if you're using Mod Organizer 2, you should be familiar with this. I'm setting Creation Kit so that it saves all of its files into our console dance mod, and I'll kick off Creation Kit. For Creation Kit, I'm using, of course, the SSE fixes. You can see that build up there, so it should run a ton faster than vanilla Creation Kit. I don't even think I'll have time to sip on my tea. In my screencast, I used to make tea while waiting for Creation Kit, but it's so much faster with those fixes. We'll just call this console dance. And what we need is we're going to want a player script so that we can listen to on player load game and on init, so that we can attach to the callbacks that we'll get whenever our dance command is called in the console. So we're just going to make a quest, and we'll make a quest alias that represents reference to the player. Character quest, right click anywhere, console dance quest, hit OK as always before doing anything else to that quest. We're not going to use a main script because we want to get the on player load game event. We're going to use a quest alias, right click new reference alias. We're going to call it player ref, that's ref. We'll go to fill type specific reference, select forced reference, to choose cell any, and it should auto-populate the ref with player ref, otherwise choose it in the ref dropdown. And here is where we're going to add our script. New script, and we can just call this a console dance player script, or whatever you want. And this extends a reference alias, not an actor. Even though it's not an actor, it's just a reference to one. We'll say represents the player. Come on. Represents the player. it'll get all of the events that a player would. So on hit, on death, on item added, on whatever. So we're kind of done here. You can now use whatever setup you prefer to edit your script files and compile them, which could be just right-click, edit source, and you could follow along using this box right here and Control S whenever you want to compile. I'm going to be switching over to Visual Studio Code, and I'm going to be using Papyrus project files. And I'll call out where I'm doing some extra steps where you won't have to do them. So I'm going to open up Visual Studio Code. I am going to use the Papyrus extension. So it's here by Joel Day. It's fantastic. And it has Pyro integrated by someone named Fire, which implements the Fallout 4 style Papyrus project files for Skyrim, which is what this uses, and it's all based around it, and it's great. There's this little Papyrus scroll doohickey. We're going to click the right, the triple dots, generate project files. We'll browse to wherever we saved our mod. This could be in the data folder, but if you're using VS Code and Mod Organizer 2, you probably wouldn't do that. Skyrim, I have this set up in testing mods console dance. And now I can open up Skyrim testing mods console dance, and let's get started. Okay, so here are our scripts. We've got our ESP, and here is our main script. So what we want to do is we are going to listen to onInit and onPlayerLoadGame, typical, and we are going to kick off a listener for these console commands that we want to subscribe to. We want to subscribe to the dance console command. So I'll just get these onInit and PlayerLoadGame out of the way. Event onInit and event on PlayerLoadGame and event. And each one of these scenarios will kick off some listener. So let's just make a function that we call like a listen for console, listen for dance console commands, whatever, end function. That's where we'll register our events with custom console commands. And we'll just call that from onInit, and we'll call it from onPlayerLoadGame. Now, how do we do this? What do we do for custom console commands? Well, if you want to, we can just head on over to like Mod Organizer 2, or you could do this with Vortex. We're going to click on Custom Console Commands, right-click to open it in the Explorer. This for Vortex would be at like C users, your user, app data, roaming, Vortex, Skyrim SE, downloads or something, or download Skyrim SE. So what we get here is there's a BSA that has all of the compiled scripts, and there's the main ESP, which has been ESLified, and there's some scripts. The CCC ones are private. The main one we care about is Custom Console Commands, and it just has one function, and it's global. So we'll say Custom Console Commands dot register command. You can find an example of this on the home page for Custom Console Commands. So here's an example, and we are basically implementing something like this, but rather than giving the player gold, we're going to make the player or NPCs dance because I think that's more fun for a screencast. So here's what they do. We can just copy that event. Here's what they do. Here we are back in our listen for dance console commands. They do register for mod event, custom console commands, register gold on gold command. Let's break this down. So register for mod event. Register for mod event. Two things about it. One, it's not auto-completing for me because it comes from SKSE. And so you may have SKSE installed into your data directory, in which case your autocomplete should work just great if you're using a text editor with such a feature. Otherwise, if you're doing all of this just in the creation kit, in that edit source box, everything should just work for you, especially if you're using Vortex. So good on you. So register for mod event is an SKSE function for subscribing to custom events that mods define rather than events from the base vanilla game. So what you say is you say my cool event, and then that's the event, and then whenever a mod throws that, you can listen to it and say like on my cool event, and you'll get your event on my cool event called. And it takes 4 parameters. You will get this passed with you with the event name. That will be just my cool event. And then there's 2 arguments that the mod itself can provide to you. There's a string one and a float one. So string arg or whatever, float arg. And then SKSE will give you the a link, a reference to the form that actually triggered the event. Form sender. At the moment for custom console commands, that'll be CCC player script, but that's kind of considered a private hidden script. So how do we do this and how do we get it to not be read? Instead of my cool event, we apparently get the event name from custom console commands. We just say custom console commands.register. We give it something like dance. And then we say on dance command, and we'll call this on dance command. Now, my Visual Studio Code setup with using Papyrus project files isn't finding this because Papyrus project files use imports, and I'll go ahead and add those imports now. Feel free to watch me, or if this already works for you, you can just skip over this next, whatever, 30 seconds or so. I'm going to my PPJ, which is the Fallout 4 style Papyrus project file, and I'm going to add a number of imports. I'm going to import SKSE, because that's a dependency, Papyrus util, because that's a dependency, and custom console commands, because that is a dependency. So I'm just going to go to Mod Organizer 2 and go to the folder that all of these are in, open folder. I can find all of these in that mod folder where they were installed. So for Papyrus util, I just go to the script source directory that has all of the Papyrus source code files. And I add that. And for custom console commands, I just go to the scripts source directory that has all of the Papyrus source code files, and I add that. If you've ever used Pyro or the Papyrus compiler directly, you'll be familiar with these as imports. And then finally, I have my SKSE set up as a separate folder with scripts source with the custom Papyrus source code files. Unsurprisingly, after seeing these other ones, I'm going to save, and this should stop being read in just a moment if we wait for it. I'm impatient, so I'm just going to close and open Visual Studio Code. Makes it go a little bit faster. Loud car out there. So if we do hover over register for mod event, we can see some documentation for it. Register over hover over register, that's upset right now, but it probably won't be when we compile. I'm going to Control-Shift-B compile. And of course register is read. We copied and pasted from an old version of the site before I refreshed it. So here's register command is what you want. We'd be able to find that ourselves quite easily if we just go to, just start typing custom console commands dot, and we'll see it's actually register command. My bad. So register command. Save and build that. And now it's been built. So let's do something on dance command. Let us just, we could debug message box, but folks are calling the dance command in the console. So the way that you probably want to give them feedback is via the console. Now, custom console commands isn't using this feature, but Papyrus util includes a utility that lets you print easily to the console. And Papyrus util is a dependency of this. So you should already have access to misc-util. So just type misc-util and hit dot. And one of the options in here, as you can see right here, is print console. So you can print some text to the console. So we can say hello from the dance command. You said, and string arg, whatever gets passed, because whatever gets passed here, this is the command. So we don't care about this float arg, and we don't actually care about the sender. We can say command. And let's see if this works. Let's go to Mod Organizer 2, and with SKSE, with our console dance enabled, let's boot up the game. Should we go just to Riverwood again, or should we go somewhere else kind of fun? We'll just say dance 1, 2, 3. And we say hello from the dance command. You said dance 1, 2, 3. Now for those with good eyes, you'll notice something kind of frustrating about this mod. This mod being the custom console commands mod. If we dance 1, 2, 3, watch the console really carefully. That was a what web developers would call a flash of unstyled content. What really happened was, and you should know this as a mod author, if you type some gibberish, the console will say script command dks or whatever gibberish, not found. The way that this mod works is it actually gets the command that was run, but unfortunately the way that Skyrim console works and the way that this mod was written at least, and this might be doable if the mod was written in C++, I'm not sure. When you type dance, the console actually prints out script command dance not found, and custom console commands just really quickly removes it. It just like really quickly removes it. So it's not like the best experience for your users, but hey, it's a custom console command. I can't complain, right? So it says hello from dance command. For dance, we don't actually really want any arguments. We don't care about any arguments. So we just want to make our player dance. So to do that, I'm just going to open up CK really quickly to find a dance. And we don't even need to load up our mod, I don't think. I think we can just go to animations without loading Skyrim. Nope. Animations in Skyrim. Animations in Skyrim. I think we'll just use, I think Cicero has like a couple dances, like dance 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it's called Idle Dance Cicero 1, 2, 3, 4. We could just boot up Skyrim and see that, but I'll just pull it up right now. We can just go to all these. We're looking for the master file under behaviors, and then we want the loose, and then look for idle Cicero happy. Idle Cicero dance 1, 2, and 3. We can just like do like a random one of those. So idle Cicero 1, 2, and 3. Let's write that down so that we don't have to open up CK again to remember it. Or 3. Cool. There might be some other dances that like bards do or something, but I just knew that that one happens to exist. So what we want to do is we want to get the whoa, it's big. Go by CK. That's what I did. Shoo, I don't need you. We want to get the object that has been selected in the console, which may be an NPC. And SKSE has us covered for that. I believe it's in UI or utilities. Where are you? Head on over to creationkit.com, click on the left for Skyrim, not the right for Fallout 4, and we can search here. There's a scripting reference. You can also look for all Papyrus functions list, which can be useful. And we'll look for selected ref. That'll be a lot. Let's look on UI script. And then let's look on utility script. Someone at home is like, yo girl, how could you not know that it's here? Where is it? Game. Game. Get current console ref, and it is probably an SKSE function. It's under all the SKSE global functions for a game. So you can get what's under the crosshair, which is pretty cool. You could use that for your dance. So you don't have to click, but you're already in the console. So you may as well use this. So what do we want to do? We want to say this. Object reference selected ref equals game dot get selected get current console ref, and it's probably can be none. So if selected ref else let's go one step further and let's do as actor. So it could be none, but now double could be none, which should be safe. So if there's a selected ref, so we could say selected actor if there isn't one, then we'll set this selected actor to the game get player. And we're in a reference alias, so we could actually just say get actor reference. Cool. We need to make them dance. I think that's a game function. I think it's on debug. Send animation event. Cool. So we can do this. We could do like we'll just play one of them for now. You could do whatever you want in your mod. I'm just showing you how to use this mod. We will debug send animation event to the selected actor. Idle Cicero dance 1. We'll just do that for right now. We'll just see if it works. Build. Game. We'll see if our player dances, and then we'll go and we'll select someone else. Not CK, I want game. And then we can call it done. We got this random dude with a crazy iron helmet. Whoop. It says hello from dance command. You said dance. Okay, so we didn't stop printing that out, but he's dancing. So cool. There's still hello from dance command. You said dance. We could say something like person's name, say dance, comma, person's name, selected actor dot, let's say string actor name equals selected actor get base object dot get name dance actor name, comma dance. Save build. Too many arguments passed. What do I do? Build. Cool. And this thing is called console dance player script. I don't think reload script will work because of the events, because it will lose the connection to the events, but that's fine. Cool, let's let them finish dancing. And now if I see dance, I don't think it'll work. Dance not found because all of the reload script doesn't work very well with SKSE events. So I'll go back into the game and we'll make an NPC dance and then we'll call it. We'll call it good. I'll probably save this and I'll save it into a zip file and attach it as an extra file. So folks can go download the script. It's like a 24-line script with spaces, and that's the whole thing. Let's go someplace that has more people. Solitude, Winking Skeever. Except at the beginning of the game, they're all out watching like an execution. They're not really in there. Oh, there's no one there. Let's go make the execution folks dance, if that sounds good to you.
Pardon me.
It's done.
And let's select them in the oh, I guess we're not allowed to go up there. Probably about to die. But not before we make these people dance. Some of them didn't dance. Because they're busy, right? Can we still make them dance? Right before you leave screen, right before you leave screen. There, they're dancing. Oh, they were for a sec. Cool. There you go. Custom console commands. Do whatever you want with it. There's one little hacky aspect to it, which is it blinks for a second when you type stuff, but it's cool. It's cool. You can make console commands for whatever you want, and you can extend your mods with console commands if you want to. If Papyrus, Util, and this are provided, maybe you could make this an optional integration with your mod. You could say if custom console commands ESP is available, then register a console command. So you've got your SkyUI MCM, and maybe you've got spells that let you use UI extensions to configure your mod, and now you've got console commands, because you could use the console commands to like my mod space config space blah variable space variable value or whatever. Have fun. I think it's cool, so have fun with it. Peace, and check out skyrimscripting.com. Right, bye. Happy modding.